Hello and welcome back. You're watching the Kaiser Report. We're into 2025 now, and we're looking at a lot of things that are going on in the current news cycle that you're looking at with regard to terrorism and undocumented aliens that are in this country, maybe up to bad things, and whether or not they're connected, the FBI is not saying so, but they have came out with the fact that this New Orleans thing that took place could have been a lot worse had the IUDs that were placed along Bourbon Street had gone off, which they did not. But the tragedy that took place there is in the news cycle right now, making you believe that you should be afraid to be going out in public or meeting with people here and there in large crowds, especially football games and basketball games and things that we normally go to this time of year. If you look at what's going on right here locally, we have the Arby's Classic, which they've renamed now to something else, but it's all of the high schools in this state are coming in and playing against each other, and it's a yearly thing at Christmas time that we looked forward to, but the fear is what they win with. If you stay home and you're afraid to go out anywhere, the terrorists have won. This is what they want. Take a look at Israel, and you'll quickly realize that if they can make you scared enough to live your normal everyday life, they have won. They have got their way, and they're controlling you through fear, much like we've experienced in some cases from our own government. So don't let them win with fear. We have let in to this country more and more and more people that we have no idea where they're from, what they're up to, and it's become more dangerous as a result of this, which could have been put to bed with just a simple application of the laws that are already on the book with regard to immigration into our country, as every other country demands their immigration laws be obeyed. So why should we be different? We would have to ask Joe Robinette Biden that, along with Kamala Harris and Alejandro Mayorkas. And these people are directly responsible for every one of these 10 deaths that just took place in New Orleans, as well as a myriad of other deaths that have been taken lives away from our citizens by these people, these undocumented people that were allowed into this country. Take a look at this.
Well, guess what? America's winning, and the world's better off for it. America's more prosperous, and Americans are safer today than under Donald Trump. Trump continues to lie about crime in America.
Really?
I've actually been in law enforcement for 52 years. This is the worst I've seen it. I watched a surveillance video that was taken down in Texas of 10 guys, military age, dressed in camouflage, in a military formation coming into the country. What do you think they're here for? They're not here to play the lotto.
Migrant encounters at the U.S.-Mexico border exceeded more than 250,000 for the first time ever. Some of those caught part of the terror watch list.
And Marky, the numbers speak for themselves. More people attempted to cross the U.S.-Mexico border in December than ever before. Some of those people have been flagged as potential threats to the U.S.
The past 3 months, there have been 38. Last year as a whole, there were nearly 100. A sharp increase compared to the previous 4 years.
But look at what I've inherited and what I've done.
Are you getting the sense that the FBI had been tracking this suspect, or are you getting the sense that they perhaps somehow missed this?
I can't answer that. I can't answer that, but I shouldn't.
Do you really feel safer under Donald Trump?
Yes.
Almost incredible when you stop and think about the amount of problems that have been brought into this country, and no one knows the reason why this is happening, but it has happened, and now we have to deal with it. We have a new administration coming to power on the 20th of this month. January 20th is the time for the inauguration for the new president and his cabinet to take over and start to fix some of the problems that have caused the upset that we're watching now, especially in the sanctuary cities through this country. We have lawlessness like we have never had before, and you just heard that things are a lot better under him. Well, they weren't. We know that now, and we know that we have been duped by our government and by our mainstream media, which is no longer, I would not consider them a good news cycle anymore. It's an opinionated push written by somebody upstairs for the talking heads to give to you, and you're not getting the information that you really need to make informed decisions such as who to vote for, what the people that are running for office have accomplished or failed to accomplish, and this is evident in what we just witnessed in this last election. So with that, we have to beware of our surroundings at all times. Pay attention to who's in the room, who's entering the room, who's leaving the room, and suspicious things such as packages left under a seat of a subway car or a bus. And this applies to any city, anywhere. You should be cognizant of what's going on around you. These people that are hell-bent on causing chaos will do that. They have a bag that they leave behind, and that is the danger point. Tell someone immediately. Don't go and touch it on your own. Find somebody in charge and say, listen, I saw this. You better look at it, because you can be a victim in a heartbeat if you're not paying attention. But do not let fear keep you locked in your home, afraid of going out, shopping at a mall or in an open mall, or very simply, you're having a vacation in New Orleans on Bourbon Street. No one expects a pickup truck to circumvent all of the blockades and get in and kill that many people. And now we have this thing going on in front of the Trump Hotel where this Tesla Cybertruck was blown up, and we haven't got very much information on that, but it looks like the truck was rented using the same app as the truck that was involved in the massacre in New Orleans. So I would say that there's probably some relationship there with some kind of a cell that may have been set up in this country. You hear every day about the people coming in camouflage, standing at parade rest at the border when they're being talked to, and it's obvious that they're military-aged, trained people. And some of them, in great numbers, have been Chinese. So take that for what it's worth, but keep your eyes open, keep vigilant when you're out and about, And understand that if you see something that doesn't feel right to you, it probably isn't. So let somebody know that's in charge. And taking matters into your own hands can be dangerous. So be aware of where you are at all times. And for people that are being victimized by other miscreants that are hanging out in parking lots waiting to steal your car, your money, and maybe even your life, you got to make sure that you know what's in your surrounding area. Get to your car, get in, lock the door, get out for nothing. If there's a note on your windshield, wait till you get somewhere safe to read it. And if there's a supposedly $100 bill under your wiper blade, it's not right. Get out of there and then take it out when you're in a safe area.
Just the way it works.
We tell you all the time about safety and how you can keep yourself out of harm's way by just being aware of where you are and what's surrounding you at any given time. And if you're riding the subways, be very aware. But the good news, as I told you the other day, that Curtis Lee was Guardian Angels are back on the subway, and they're much needed right now with all the crime that has the ability to take place. We had another person thrown under a train very recently, and this is a happening that is not good. You had a person burned to death in a subway car for nothing other than the fact that they like to watch someone die. These people that we have let into this country unvetted and unchecked have very little respect for human life, and it's becoming very obvious. And in some cases, they have a criminal history in their past countries that is not conducive to having them living on your block right now, or having the government pay for their hotel room and giving them a cell phone and a credit card or debit card that they can use for buying lighter fluid and lighters, it would appear. So it's doom and gloom only if you allow it to be doom and gloom. So don't let them win. Put a smile on your face. We're getting ready to fix a lot of this, folks, and it's coming down. And if you realize what the Hill and those other people on Politico are posting, it is the last-ditch attempt to make you be afraid and listen to what they're telling you will happen with no basis to go by. Let's let Donald Trump take his position, let his cabinet get into work mode, and let's see what happens. I'm not going to take anybody's word from Politico or The Hill, who have lied to me for the last 10 years, and believe a thing that they say. We no longer have credible news outlets that we can go to for exacting information, especially what's taking place in other places in the world. In their realm, all that exists are Democrats and Republicans and who can't get along with who. And then to run down someone accusatorily telling you that this person and that person are wrong about this, that, and the other thing without giving them a chance to not only defend themselves, but to show what they're capable of doing. We have watched 4 years of out-and-out fibbery coming out of all of the news networks, and there are some nasty people that are taking those seats at CNBC, MSNBC, and the like. ABC, CBS, and NBC. I'll just rest my case on that. We haven't got good news. reporting out of them since probably the 1960s. They're opinionated talking heads that come in early in the morning, get fed a piece of paper for what they're going to carry the narrative for today, sit in a makeup chair, get all made up, and then go out and get in front of the camera and continue to read to you someone else's lies. It's taken place now for a long time. And I think because of this election, very many people that normally would buy the byline are no longer paying attention because they woke up and realized, hey, something's wrong here, something's not right, and why do we have 20 plus million people more in our country now to do what? To take jobs that they say that Americans don't want? Well, maybe we get our children off their telephones and laptops and make them go out and go to work like we all had to do at one time, and then maybe this would stop. Why they would allow a cell phone into a classroom in this day and age with the poor quality of teaching that we have experienced in the last few years, and the fact that they're not going to be on a telephone texting each other and paying attention to that teacher in the front of the class, whether or not they're teaching something that's valid or not. There's a problem with social media and students right now, and that includes up until and including the university level for some of these people. Should TikTok be banned? Well, based on what I look at on some of the social media where people are posting TikToks, I personally do not use TikTok for two reasons. One, I'm not sure if it's going to be canceled, and everybody tells me, oh, your editing and everything will be a lot easier if you have it, but it's related to the Chinese army. Why would I want them to have the information I have or the ability to take a stupid TikTok of someone dancing in the street to the same music, acting like a fool, so they can go around and say, this is American youth. This is what they do. Look at our youth. They're lined up in a military parade and looking dangerous. Are they? We don't know, and we don't want to know. But this is a problem that we have in our society right now, is social media. It has to be something done about that. Carrying social media into a classroom, there's no place for it. And now with AI, you have students that think they can cheat and cheat better with using AI. Well, I've got news for you. AI is not always correct. And if you have a teacher that is well trained as being a teacher, they're going to sift through that and find out, and you will get a failing grade. Hopefully. So, 2025 is not going to change until after the 20th of this month, when we get a handle on what's going on and get some of the criminals that are in this country illegally the heck out of it, and start prayer that this happens rapidly. And do not let a terrorist win ever through fear. Our government tried to make us all afraid. Look at what happened with the China virus. Same old, same old. But anyway, we have some great people ready to take on the task of fixing what's wrong, and we need to back them, and we need to stop listening to people on the TV telling you how you should react to a person or a law that may or may not be true. In some cases, it's not. They're opinion generators. They're not news reporting. They're certainly not investigative journalists. They put those out of work, so they have to go onto a social network to tell you what is really the truth, or interview the person that is actually being maligned or may know something. Instead of opinion generators like Al Sharpton, who in their right mind would believe anything he said? You may not remember history because it's not taught well in school anymore. But Al Sharpton, look up his mistakes with Tawana Brawley back when. And he has the nerve to sit there and tell you all about what's wrong with Donald Trump. I don't think he has the right to do that. And why MSNBC hires him is beyond me. The Reverend. He's about as reverend as, well, I won't go there. But we're looking forward to a happy year. Things are positive on the horizon. And this is what we have to look forward to. You all went out and gave a mandate to the incoming president and asked that these things be fixed, and it will be fixed. And if you have a congressman or a congressperson or a senator that is refusing to do that, remember, primary them, get them out of there when they come up for re-election, and never trust them again. And I think that we have learned a lot through this election on who to trust and who not to trust, who lied and who didn't lie. And Joe Biden can claim about someone being a liar all his life if he wants to, but he is the poster child for it. We showed you that yesterday. So keep up your spirits, keep up your prayer, bring God back into this country, and celebrate the fact that we have one of the freest countries in the world, and no one is going to take that away from us if we stay strong and hold together and not cower in fear from somebody that thinks that they can take over a country through terrorism and bad behavior. And with that, take a look at this.
Don't dismiss it at all. Just remind him, I wrote the bill on the environment. Pay them more. I got them $1.9 trillion in relief so far.
And why the freak are we whispering?
By the way, we can make all these improvements and still cut the deficit
If we start making people pay fair share, but pay your fair share, but pay your fair share, but just pay a little bit. Don't pay a cent. I had an incredibly supportive family. Thank you for my daddy, Ronald Reagan. Well, guess what? But guess what? Guess what? Guess what? I got news for him. I'm paying attention. No one's saying that. I stopped that. We reduced the deficit. We brought down the deficit. I cut the deficit. I lowered the deficit. It reduces the federal budget. Not anymore. Enough. I like to whisper too. He didn't build a thing. Guess who builds them? The United States. General Motors. We invented those chips. We got everything done. You don't need a college degree. That's what holds this country together. There's nothing beyond our capacity. We can do anything. Now we're sending products veto them. I will veto them. I will veto them. I'll veto it. Unless you make more than $400,000 a year. That's not right. I'm going back. You gotta win. I won every precinct. No poll says that. They've said out loud. They all want to share their data. They haven't yet. They lost.
I do get a little careless whisper in my body.
Fox News. He couldn't have done it without you. But don't let up now. It's working. It's working. It's a problem. And we're just getting started. But we're starting to do it. Everybody benefits. It saves every taxpayer. They fired a lot of them. But I did. But now they're getting it. They're listening it now. We're about to find out. The Carneys are relatives. They're outside. I don't want to hear any more about you don't like looking at them. I'm your commander-in-chief. But not this time. I didn't hear a word. Get vaccinated. No.
You gotta stop doing that, okay? It is weird.
So, a little humor never hurts. And with that, here it is, the 2nd of January, and we're in a world of happiness. Kaiser's happy. Kaiser was at the vet this morning and got his annual shots and checkup, and he is the picture of health, and he's a little tired. We had a big day today, but he's here asleep on the couch as always, and we'll get you some pictures of him real soon out playing. So from Kaiser and I, we would like to wish you a wonderful Thursday, rest of the Thursday that's left, and a wonderful weekend on the horizon. We'll be back to you tomorrow with all the news that's fit to talk about, and maybe a little commentary on what took place today when we get more information on it. But until then, we'll see you on Friday. Get ready for the weekend, and please don't forget our sponsors here, which is Lazy J Farms and Butcher Shop. And if you haven't tried any of their meats, their chicken, their pork, their beef is unbelievably beautiful, tender, tasty, nothing like you've ever bought in a grocery store before. And you can find them on Facebook, on the internet at lazyjfarms.com. And, of course, you can always call them and place an order anywhere in the country. They will ship to you if you get your order in early enough on a Thursday. They will get it overnight to you. So call them, please, at 423-398-5595. That's 423-398-5595. And don't forget to tell them Kaiser sent you. They love him there. He gets his dog food there. Their eggs, their cheese, everything that they carry in that butcher shop. You will write me in the comments and tell me what your thoughts are on the quality of that meat and cheese and eggs, because it's wonderful. So with that, we're going to say, have a wonderful rest of this Thursday. Come back and see us tomorrow, Friday. And stay safe, stay strong, and stay tuned to the Kaiser Report for more commentary and trips around Appalachia that you may be interested in, such as our Christmas at the Homestead Resort, which you may or may not have seen yet, but it's in our library here, so go take a look at it. Bye-bye for now. We'll see you real soon tomorrow. Bye now.